guys, welcome back to my channel and another review here. Before we hop right into like the actual review, just a couple housekeeping things so you know what to expect from this video and maybe the next couple of videos. If this video seems a little bit frantic and all over the place, it is because my notes are on two sticky notes. I didn't really make a plan for this. I just kind of wrote stuff down really frantically like 3 weeks ago. Which leads me into point number 2, that I have not filmed in a couple of weeks. And you may have noticed I didn't post this past Saturday or Tuesday. I just got a lot going on in my life. I'm a little bit behind, just like some personal family stuff, some medical stuff with myself. I just couldn't do everything. I was burning the candle at both ends and something had to give, and it was YouTube. So good thing this isn't my job. But yeah, if things seem a little bit discombobulated, that might be why. And then the third thing, which really I probably shouldn't even have to say, but I feel like I do because there's always one. I'm not wearing makeup. I don't feel like wearing makeup, and I'm not gonna put on makeup just to take it off 20 minutes from now after I finish filming this video. So if you think I look tired, you don't have to type it out. You don't have to type it and click send. You don't have to put it in the comments, because this is just what my face looks like, okay? I don't look tired. This is just how I look, all right? So please, you'll make me sad. So yeah, that's it for the housekeeping. So what have we got going on today? Today I have a Mooncat review, which I'm sure you guys are like, what? Mooncat? Didn't you talk so much crap on this brand for like the past year and a half? I would say, don't worry about it. Don't even mention that. Please just sweep it under the rug, because now we're actually gonna do a Mooncat review. I have caved. I have fallen victim to their advertising, and also my friend Nick's Polish constantly in my ear being like, oh, isn't this one pretty? Oh, isn't that one pretty? Oh, look at this. Look at my Mooncat wish list, Hillary. And then they came out with this, which is the trending greens bundle. And I swear Nick sent it to me minimum twice, but I think like 3 to 4 times. And so I was like, okay, I'll buy it. And I did buy it, obviously, because that's what we're doing here. And so now I just have kind of like somewhat of a brand overview kind of review. I'm not gonna specifically give you live swatches for this one, because partway through swatching these, I did in fact have a run-in with my bathroom door, and I completely just destroyed a couple nails. And I like live swatches on long nails. I'm not a big live swatcher on short nails. I will do that for future reviews, but for this one, I would like to talk more about the brand as a whole and discuss with you my experience with the polishes. I'm not sure how much you guys even really care for my live swatches in general. So let me know down below if you actually like my live swatch portion of the video. I'll keep doing it. Just let me know. If you don't like it and I get an overwhelming, like, we don't really care about the live swatches, we just want to see you swatch photos and hear you talk about the polish, it's really easy for me to convert to that. In fact, it's easier to do that than it is to do live swatching. But I don't know what people want to see from me, because I know that, you know, we all watch different people for different things. So yeah, that tangent aside, let's get into my review of the brand Mooncat, as well as my thoughts and feelings on the trending greens bundle. So Mooncat, if you didn't know, I mean, this happened a couple years ago at this point, so everybody on my channel probably knows this. Mooncat is a rebranding of the brand Live Love Polish, which initially started out as a nail polish stockist and then branched into making their own nail polishes. And I would say at the beginning of the brand's life, when I recall seeing them, it was a lot of like maybe brighter tones. I'm pretty sure part of the logo was like a little bit of a heart like kind of thing. I can't recall specifically. I own a handful of Live Love polishes. They're really good. They did a collaboration with SpongeBob, which you can see like up next to my head here, I do own. And they were a good polish brand. So when they rebranded as Mooncat, I didn't really have any questions about the quality of the polish, because I assumed it was probably going to be the same as Live Love polish. However, like, the rebrand kind of came like not necessarily as a surprise, but you could see in the Live Love Polish branding and marketing towards the end, the types of collections they were doing were based on, I would say, like darker or like just not as bright, happy, exciting, fun things, which is kind of what the name Live Love Polish evokes. So the rebranding, I feel like it does make sense in a way. But I was also very resistant to it because I was just like, what is this Hot Topic core kind of edgy marketing? And I know that the brand owner said that it reflects her personality more. So it's like, I don't want to harp on that too much because I don't want to be like, ooh, ew, you are like a Hot Topic core girl. Because, girl, so am I. I used to work there. I love to wander about Hot Topic and reminisce about when it wasn't all just anime merch. But yeah, Mooncat, I would say, is just like kind of an edgier Live Love polish, but they're still doing the same types of polishes, same types of finishes. They even carried over a few of their, tried and true favorites from Live Love Polish into the Mooncat market. However, I do believe that Mooncat is more expensive than Live Love Polish was. So that was the first thing that really did put me off of buying from them, was the price. But I can't be too critical of the pricing because I pay the same prices that Mooncat charges for other brands. It's just a matter of like, what is worth it to you? And I think I am someone who is very resistant to change. And I know that. I don't like when bottles change. I don't like when my schedule gets off by 5 minutes in a day. I am very resistant to change. And so I think that was part of my initial gut reaction to Mooncat. The brand is 10 free, which if that's important to you, I'm not sure which 10 it's free of. I'm not somebody who is especially concerned about, like not having certain chemicals in my stuff. I'm just, at this point, I'm like, I made it to 30, putting all these chemicals in and around my body. I'm probably fine, but I know for some people that is a concern. So they are 10 free. They're made in the US. If that is, again, something that you personally care about, there you go. I myself have only ever worked for international companies, so I can't really be like, oh, I'm only buying US made when like the outside world market is what pays my bills. So I'm not really worried about if it's made in the US because most of the stuff that's made in the US is made with bits and bobs and parts and pieces that weren't made in the US. So is it really made in the US? No, I don't think so. But that's just a whole other conversation. They are vegan and cruelty-free according to their website. I did notice on the page that I purchased my Trending Green set, it said that for a limited time, 10% of the net proceeds would benefit something called Koneko, which when I looked it up, I found that I think it's like a cat cafe that does like rescue cats or like rehomes cats or something like that. The one thing that I would have liked to see was some kind of clickable link on that listing on Mooncat's site to redirect me to more information about that charitable endeavor, just because I like to see that stuff. If I'm paying money for something and you're saying part of my money is going to be donated to whichever charity or foundation, I want to see what you're doing with that. If you're using that as like a kind of selling point or a boasting point, I would like to know more from you about why you chose that specific charity and things like that, just for my own personal interest, So I felt like that would be a nice addition. I poked around their website too. I couldn't really find anything about it. And, Googling Koneko doesn't really help because it's literally it just means kitten. So I had to search like Koneko Mooncat or something like that. And then it came up with an Instagram that was associated with that like cat cafe, I believe. Ultimately, it's not like the most important thing. We're talking about nail polish here, and that's just like the side charity that they're donating to. But I think that's important when you as a business are saying like, we're donating over here, link me to the foundation. Maybe I want to donate personally. Maybe I am so moved by this charitable endeavor that I also want to just take money out of my pocketbook and put it right into that charity, So if somebody knows somebody at Mooncat, you should tell them to do that. They also, on each polish listing, have a link where you can submit your own photos of you wearing those polishes. I definitely have mixed feelings about stuff like that. I think it's cool that you can share and they can build up a gallery and everybody can see different nail lengths, different skin tones, different lighting, things like that for each polish. And they do have a variety of swatch pictures that are from swatchers. I'm hoping that they pay those swatchers. I'm assuming they probably pay those swatchers. And those are showcased on their website. But obviously, if you submit your own photo, you're not a paid swatcher. You're just basically signing over the rights to your photos and giving them that. So it's one of those things I do have mixed feelings on, and I think that everyone should be able to post their pictures however they want and share them in that way if they so choose. But I feel like that's just something you have to decide on an individual basis, because some people who are trying to break into swatching, they might feel that that's a good idea. For me, I already post everything for free on my Instagram, and I'm like, I don't really want to give my photo to a big brand and just be like, here you go, you can have the rights to it, if I'm not like getting compensated. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a personal preference thing. So you have to weigh your options with that. So that's just kind of my like not so brief overview of the brand itself. So on to the collection itself. Is my room very dark? It seems like it's dark. This is the Trending Greens collection. It is 8 pieces of questionably green polishes. All green, are they? Let's find out. So I ordered this on March 11th and it arrived on March 17th. So a pretty quick turnaround. However, when I opened my boxes, there were only 7 polishes and I was like, this was my first order, you guys. Like, come on, please. So I emailed customer service. It was Friday and it was late in the day. So I didn't get an immediate response, but like first thing Monday morning, I got a response and they just said, I'm so sorry. We're sending you a new one. And almost immediately, I also got a shipping notification and they sent me the 8th polish. I wasn't like thrilled that they missed one, but I also am like, that's just human error. It happens. It's not the end of the world. And they immediately corrected the issue and sent it out with like no extra questions, free of charge. So I felt like I got to sample customer service as well this first time, and it was great. I've heard that, somebody said on, I think Reddit, that they have the same customer service team as Holo Taco, and I do know that they come from the same warehouse or factory or something like that as Holo Taco, and Holo Taco has always had really good customer service and, things like that. So if they're the same, then that checks out. This bundle was a great way for me to sample a lot of stuff because it has a really good mix. There's a magnetic, 2 shimmers, a duochrome that has like glitter running through it, a linear holo, a multi-chrome, and then 2 creams. And it also had a good range of types of green. You'll probably see it better in my swatch photos, but we have darks, we have lights, we have murky greens, swampy greens, jewel tone greens. So I got to sample in a lot of different ways. The full set is $103, so it was a little bit pricey. It is 8 polishes though, and they are slightly more expensive polishes. So it does feel like a decent deal because if you bought these all individually, you would be spending $11 more. So now I'm just going to talk about each individual polish. I think I said this at the beginning, but if I did not, I don't have live swatches for this set. I'm running out of time. I will have live swatches for future reviews and things like that, but it's just give me this one, guys, okay? So let me just go through each individual polish here. First, we have Earth to Gaia, which guys, I like this one. I think it's very pretty. And it was actually, when I was going through the website, it was one of the ones that had really drawn my eye personally. But it's blue. So what's it doing in the Trending Greens collection? I'm not mad that I have this, but I just felt like, why that one? I mean, some people, I guess, could argue. Can you argue? Maybe I'm just trying too hard. I just think it's blue. But somebody who knows a lot more about color is probably going to tell me in the comments why I'm wrong. And I look forward to reading that and being like, I still think it's blue. So let me know, color experts, because why is this in the Trending Greens collection? Earth to Gaia. This is a shimmer. It reminds me of a Cirque polish that I also just bought. You know, they look a little similar. But I did see, and this is something we'll talk about later on, like the photo quality on the website aspect. I did see some people questioning if this shimmer was actually strong as it is shown in the pictures. I don't think that my picture does it a justice, but in real life, very strong shimmer, very strong purple shimmer running through it. You can see it flashing on the camera there. It's really pretty, and it does have these like hollow flecks running through it. So just, the only complaint I really have about this one is that it's blue in the green collection. Up next is Warp Zone. This is a green hollow, and I was worried on the first coat that it was not going to be opaque. It did feel like it was quite thin, and you know, I've seen people say that their hollows are as good as or better than the Holo Taco hollows. And for me, the Holo Taco hollows are like one coaters. I mean, I would never wear it in one coat. You've heard me say it a million times. I feel more comfortable wearing two. I don't know why, but I always use 2 coats of polish. So on the second coat, it built up completely opaque, no issues there. But I just thought it was interesting that it's like, if these are made in the same place, the same lab, whatever, as the Holo Taco polishes are, I wonder why that there's such a big difference in that, you know, first coat application. I don't know much about like the formula. I don't know anything about the formula development side of things. So I don't know if each brand owns their own like unique formula or something like that. And it could be. But yeah, very hollow. It's a very nice like spring and summer green in my opinion. And I had no issues with it. Spawn of Medusa. Now, this is one that I would not have purchased on my own. If this didn't come in this set, I wouldn't have added this to the cart. It doesn't appeal to my eye as much as some of the other ones. So this would be one where I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool, but it would always be on the back burner. This is like a duochrome with hollow glitter running through it. And I don't know what it is. It's like, I like multi-chromes and I like stuff with extra stuff in it, but I just don't prioritize buying those. However, once I got this on the nail and I could see the shift on my hand, that changed the game for me. I feel like part of it is looking at a duo or multi-chrome in a bottle. You can see all the shifts and it's fine, but the magic is really when you get it onto your fingers and then it's actually like, whoa, wait a minute, hang on, that's cool. And then it having that extra little pop of hollow glitter, it's just really fun. This is Kelp Kingdom. This is a magnetic. I thought it was cool they included a magnetic in the set. They don't include a magnet with the collection, so if you buy this, just keep that in mind. You will need to have a magnet on hand. So many brands give out free magnets with their magnetics though. Like, I've got a bajillion on hand. I don't need any more magnets, to be honest. It looks like it has some reflective leaning glitter on it, around it. When I see it in certain lights, but like dead on, I don't see that reflective quality, so I'm not sure. I did find that it magnetized very well. I've seen people say Mooncat magnetics are quite good, and I had no issue with it. It magnetized quick, and it stayed magnetized in the time that I was taking the swatch photo. I haven't worn it for an extended amount of time, so I can't speak to the spread of the magnet over the course of even just 24 hours, but it magnetized very well, and I had no issue with it. The Stranger, this is one of the creams, and this is one that when it came out, like this kind of tempted me, which is funny that out of all of the offerings that Mooncat has, this is the one that was the closest to getting me to make an individual purchase. And it's just a plain green, murky cream. You know what I mean? It's not like anything super special, but it's special to me because I love this color. And I also, it was from like a kind of like a literary based collection, I believe. Yeah, it came from a collection that was based off of books, and like their photo kind of had this like slightly dark academia look to it. And so I was definitely drawn to this one because I remember in high school reading The Stranger with my best friend at the time, and like between that memory and also just, you know, a grossish green, It almost got me, and then I was like, no, Hillary, you can probably dupe that out in your collection. And then I put it behind me, and then I got it in this collection. So I'm happy about that. I did find I was having a hard time photographing the true color of this, and I am not like the best with photo editing, and I also just feel uncomfortable editing photos because I don't want people to think I'm trying to mislead you. I will say that in real life, it is more of an army canvas color than it's showing in my photo. Like if you go, actually, I'll put the picture up too, but on the website, they do have a photo in low light and in the sun. And I find that my experiences even in the low light that I was in, it looked more like the sun photo. The other cream in this set is called Poison Ivy. This one is more of a deeper, like foresty tone, and same quality as the other cream, the Stranger. Like they both went on the same way, very easily, very nice to work with. One thing I noticed about this one though is as soon as I opened it up, I was like, that smells weird. There's got to be something with the pigment that like it's like not right. I don't know. It smells weird. Like it smells different than all the other polishes or like any other polish that I've ever had. I paint my nails enough to where the smell of nail polish doesn't even really register with me unless it's a different smell that I'm used to. And this one definitely registered with me. I was like, that's weird. Kind of sickly sweet in a weird way that nail polish never is. It didn't affect anything. I just wanted to tell you guys that it smelled weird. So that's the end of that. Like if you have it, don't smell it, but maybe you smell it a little bit and tell me if yours smells weird too. Then we have Access Denied. This one I think was part of their Matrix collection, which I've never seen any Matrix movie ever. And I feel like at this point, it's just too late. I just don't think I should watch them. I feel like I don't want to know. When I saw this polish, when it first came out, I distinctly remember when this came out, because I was like, The Matrix? What? And then that's all I remember. But I remember looking at this collection, and I looked at the photo for this one, and the very first photo, it looks like the light, where the light hits it specifically, is the only place you can see that green shimmer lighting up, and everything around it is kind of like a halo of black. And instantly I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't like polishes typically. I shouldn't say all the time because there are some that I do like, but typically I do not like and will not buy polishes that are basically black. You know, you're like Linkin Park After Dark type of stuff where it's like, it's so dark that most people would read it as black unless it's in a very specific lighting. And to me, that photo on the website made it look like that. And so I was like, not interested, no thanks, bye-bye. And then it was in this collection and I got the bottle and I was starting to realize and I was like, okay, maybe the photo is misleading because that's something we'll talk about in a minute here. But yeah, the photo's misleading. It doesn't look anything like, at least my swatch photo doesn't look anything like their swatch photo. And I like the way it looks on my nails. I like my picture better. I mean, artistically, I like their picture better. Their photo is nicer. It is composed better. It's shot better. Everything about it is better, except for the actual color recognition in the photo, in my opinion. So this actually ended up being a favorite. This is definitely one that I'm going to lean into in the fall time. Like half of these are like really good for fall and winter, and then the other half are like more spring, summer, bright colors. So I like that about this collection. And just like looking at this at an angle, I can see green and blue shimmer running through it, and it just gives it a lot of depth on the nail. Finally, the one that was late to the party, and as you can tell by my swatch photo, it came in after my unfortunate incident. This is Alien Invasion, and this is a duo or I call them all multi-chromes because whatever, I don't know. 2 is still more than 1, right? So they're all multi-chromes. This, I feel, is more what I expected the light multi-chromes from Holo Taco to be. looks kind of dark in my camera. I gotta figure out my lights again. But it's still a much lighter color, as you can see from my swatch photo on the nail, than some of the deeper, darker multi-chromes that I'm used to. And so I like this for that purpose, but I didn't find the shift to be incredibly strong. But then again, the photos on the website don't show it to be. They don't like give me any kind of false advertising. It's just for me personally, if I'm gonna wear something that's advertised as a multi-chrome, I want it to flip. Like I want it to be so noticeably like changing like any like shift of my hand. I want that multi-chrome to be changing colors like 6 ways to Sunday. This is just not that, but it's still a really pretty and bright and light kind of a green. So it's still good. Overall, the quality of the polishes was what I expected. They're good. I've never had like an issue with Live Love polishes, but you know, I didn't know if they were going to change manufacturers or anything like that. I don't think that I see any kind of difference. They all applied well in 2 coats. They worked really well. I didn't have any kind of issue with that. So with all that being said, let's talk about kind of my iffier points, things that I didn't like as much. My feelings on the cap are still kind of in limbo. My concern, first of all, if you don't know, I do have obsessive compulsive disorder, and something about that is I feel compelled that everything must be symmetrical. I just really like symmetry in my life. I like it when things fit together well. Almost like I go through my life and my home is a Tetris board and I need everything to fit together perfectly. So while I admire things that are messy and like cluttercore and, you know, uneven and things like that, as soon as I saw these asymmetrical caps, I was like, I'm doomed from the start. Setting that aside, setting my own like discomfort with just the shape of it, I was concerned how are these gonna feel in my hand when I'm trying to paint my nails. I have a positive and a negative. So the positive is because they're 2 flat sides, like the way that I hold the cap, it fits really well in my hand. You know, my thumb rests on one flat side, the meat of my pointer finger rests on the other flat side perfectly. It makes it very easy to hold. If for some reason your caps don't come off easily, which can happen the first time you open a cap, you know, they're on there pretty tight, or if you've let some nail polish get on the rim and you kind of glued it together with nail polish and you're trying to unscrew it. While these edges are not sharp, they're not comfortable to grip tightly either. So some of these bottles, when they first came, they were very tightly shut, and I was not loving trying to get them off. I ended up running about half of them under hot water in hopes that it would loosen them up, but it was still difficult to get some of them off. Now I have no issue. So the cap is not really a problem for me. From a use standpoint, it's just when I look at them, I'm like, I wish that they were perfect on both sides. I'm also concerned about the sticker labels on the bottom of the polish because a lot of these, there's like a kind of etched out rectangle where the sticker is probably hand placed. Some of them were offset, and so they were already falling off of my bottles and I had to re-stick them on. There's also some kind of divot underneath this like main center part. And so the sticker isn't like fully flush with the bottle. So I've had to push them back onto the bottle a few times, which it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst, right? But I think the cheapest polish from this brand is $13. And for $13, I just want the sticker to stay on so that I know what the polish is. If it falls off in the drawer, it's kind of a pain in the butt to find it, and then how do you relabel it if the sticker no longer sticks? So I might go through with some clear tape and just tape over the bottom of them just so that they stay. But for this price point, I don't think that should be happening. I know I sound kind of like finicky or like petty, but it's just, I have cheaper brands that have better labels, you know? So I hope that maybe this is just a me thing, or maybe this will get fixed in the future. I don't know. If you have Mooncat, let me know if you experience the same issue. But ultimately, I can fix that myself. I know that. And then that kind of leads me into the pricing. And I'm not going to sit here and say like the prices are fair or unfair. I think this goes back to something I said in a previous video. You have to decide what is worth it for you, because these polishes are great quality. I had no issue with them. I think they're really pretty. They draw some cool inspirations. They take a lot of really cool aesthetic marketing shots. And a lot of the swatch photos look really cool on the website. I like the way that they do the hand poses and things like that. I can't tell you if the prices are fair because I don't know your financial situation and I don't know where you put your value in nail polish. For me, I see why they're, $13 and up. You've got what is clearly a custom cap and someone who is established in the nail polish making world. So you're paying a little bit into that. You're paying into the cool marketing and ideas and things like that. And to me, something like that is worth it. I like having something unique. I like a unique product. I like a cool marketing shot. And I know myself, I'm definitely willing to pay a little more when the aesthetic surrounding that item is up my alley. So for me, I feel like the pricing is something that I'm willing to pay for their specialty finishes. I think that $13 for one cream, which I believe these are 12 milliliters, unless you're giving me something like crazy interesting as far as the color goes. I have so many creams already that I could probably dupe out most of them, and anything I couldn't dupe out, I could probably find from a more affordable brand. To me, creams are not, a special cream comes along, but once in a lifetime. It's like, there's not many creams that I'm ride or die for. And you guys already know the ones that I am, so we're just gonna let that hover in the background. I have my ride or die creams. I'm not in the market for another one. I don't want to spend $13 on a plain cream, especially because lately that's just not what I'm wearing as much. For some people, creams are their ride or die. That's all they wear. And so the quality of this polish might be something you want to pay $13 for, and that's fine too. It's just for me, I see myself buying more specialty finishes from them in the future, but I don't think I would invest in a cream unless it was discounted. And then the final thing I wanted to talk about with regards to this brand Mooncat, and maybe just in general in nail polish, is the editing and photoshopping and face tuning and changing of nail swatch photos. I feel like I see this the most with Mooncat as far as being alleged against them. I've seen it with Holo Taco. I've seen it with many brands on Polish Pickup as well, where people see the swatch photo online and they say, oh my gosh, that's the prettiest nail polish I've ever seen. I want to buy that. And then they get it in real life and it looks nothing like what's on their screen. And I think that it could be two things. One, everybody's computer settings are different. Your screens look different. I have two monitors at work and I could pull up the same picture on both monitors and the colors would read differently. It's just the way your settings are does affect the way something looks in the photo. But there is also the very real thing that brands are doing where they are editing and photoshopping and changing some of the light highlights and things like that on their swatch photos. I can't speak and say which brands are doing it. I'm not going to accuse any brand of doing it because I don't know and I'm not gonna get in trouble with the law. But I feel like a lot of people do allege that this has happened with Mooncat, and it may. I found that now I have seen that they have taken that feedback into account and they are starting to put up more photos of each polish and marking them as like low light and daylight and things like that. So you can see the polish in different lighting and kind of understand what it's going to look like in each lighting. And I'm hoping that that will mitigate some of people's concerns, because photoshopping the swatch is not like, unless you're trying to make it true to what it actually looks like in real life, I just feel like it's not benefiting you. It's like, yeah, you get the sale, but then you have an angry customer who's never going to come back. So while I've heard a lot of stories from people saying like, oh, my Mooncat didn't look the way it did in the picture and things like that. I am glad that Mooncat has stated, I believe on their Instagram I saw that they said that they had taken that feedback into account. They've seen it, they've heard the customer base and what they're saying, and now they're showing their photos in multiple lightings and things like that. And I think that's smart. I think that instead of ignoring it or outright denying it, they were just like, let's see what we can do. And I, like, as a brand owner, I feel like that's the best way to move forward. So I didn't find that any of mine were like too off. The only one that I thought was like dramatically like not even dramatically different, just it looked different on the website than what I had expected, was the access denied one, where I thought it was going to be one of those that looked like it was black except for in certain lightings, and that wasn't the case, but to my benefit, you know? So yeah, that is my Mooncat review. I overall am interested in the brand. I liked Live Love Polish, so I guess it makes sense that I would like Mooncat since they are the same thing with a different name. I liked that they tricked me into buying them with their 8-piece trending green set. They knew what I wanted. And I do see myself probably purchasing more in the future. Probably I'll be aiming for a sale or some kind of discount or something, but there are polishes on my Mooncat wish list. So it has gotten to me, but it's not one that I feel like this compelling urge that I'm like, I gotta buy it right now. I can wait. You know, I don't feel this sense of urgency about it, but I do want more. And I also just want somebody to please write me a dissertation on why this is green so that I can finally accept it, okay? So that's it. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if I missed something. Like I said, all my notes, they were on 2 Gudetama Post-it notes, and I'm feeling a little discombobulated and all over the place. So if this didn't make sense, sorry to editing me for having to put it together. But yeah, that is going to be it from me. I've got a couple spring collections coming up in the next couple videos. We got Orly, we got China Glaze. We probably got Orly again somewhere in there. And so that's what's going to be coming your way. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much when I didn't post for 2 videos. Nobody messaged me, so I don't think anybody noticed, which is good. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!